Well, we start with this, where the ANC will resume the business of its elective conference tomorrow. Now, I know you're wondering, didn't we cover this in December? Yes, we did, but the ANC didn't finish. A virtual sitting is going to take place with delegates joining from various provincial centres. The party already electing their leaders just a few weeks ago, but still has to complete a number of elements of the programme. Now, those are the key policy decisions and making amendments to its constitution. Let's bring in political analyst Sandile Swana. Always good to have Sandile with us as we look ahead to what really is a January 8th statement, essentially. But now we have this hybrid model, this hybrid meeting to finish what was meant to be done in December. It really didn't look good when we have to delay such key, important decisions for the ANC and hold it over to a new year. It wasn't very well planned, was it?
Yes, the conference that we are talking about, which happened in December, which had to be extended or adjourned to the 5th and 6th of January, was not particularly well organized. Some of the issues, by this, they were about 24 hours behind, which for a conference, that basically means you are at least 2 days behind the schedule. So they could not verify their own members. They could not give credentials. They didn't know who's supposed to be there. They went through a whole rigmarole, which is quite unusual for conferences other than ANC conferences. So yes, it was disorganized, and then it means that this week is also disorganized in a way.
And we see as well the reports, and we've heard from the newly elected Secretary General that the party is not going to discuss Palapala. There's no time, they say. They're going to be discussing more important issues. What did you make of that, Sandile, when we heard that Palapala is not going to be spoken about, considering how divisive the issue is?
The Palapala issue, which you are referring to, and how it has been treated by the current Secretary General of the African National Congress, Fikile Mbalula, it has all the features of eNCA. It also has the features of characterizing Cyril Ramaphosa as Zuma 2, Zuma version 2, where the African National Congress, NEC, National Executive Committee, has decided to close ranks and protect its own president, like they did with Zuma before, against scrutiny by the legislature, especially the elected representative of the citizens of South Africa. So, in short, you are now facing Zuma version 2.
And the focus, we understand, is going to be on disciplining the members of parliament that we saw last year who weren't voting in line with the party. And there were some big names, for example, in Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. What do you read into dealing with those members? What kind of discipline are we talking about? And do you think it will actually happen?
If you're talking about the kind of discipline, it's certainly not the kind of discipline that you and I would ordinarily run in an organization. The type of discipline that we are talking about in this case is Stalinism. It is a discipline that says you cannot deviate from the demands and the directives of the clique that is in power, which is the Ramaphosa, Mbalula, Mandashe clique that is running, or faction, whichever word you want to use, that is running that with an iron fist and a sword. So when you talk about discipline, people could be expelled, people could be suspended, people could be removed from the cabinet. But basically what it is going against the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. It is going against the directives of the Constitutional Court of South Africa. It is undermining democracy among the elected representatives in the Republic of South Africa.
I can't help but imagine, Sandile, as we go past this hybrid, this virtual elective conference, which has to wrap up what happened in December, and we get to January 8 itself. Many people are suggesting this could be arguably the most important January 8 to rally the troops ahead of 2024. What comes out of this January 8 statement could very well have an effect in the elections in 2024. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I think that the conference, this conference, which started in December, is a very important and historic conference for the African National Congress, which has been on a downward spiral, losing virtually all the metros. They, in fact, have lost all the metros and the big towns in Gauteng, and fallen below 50%. So I attended the conference, and one of the pleasures and honors of attending that conference, I think that it is the last conference of its size and significance in the history of the ANC, as the ANC loses grip on state power, more especially losing governance, the rulership of governance in the province of Gauteng. On the resolutions that still need to be attended to, I think I need to alert you to the fact that if you pull out the report of the conference, the resolutions that came out of the previous conference, which was held in 2021, December 2021, that's an 88-page document covering a number of areas. So the January 8 statement needs to align with this version, which we don't have. We don't even know how many pages it is. So, but this is 48 type pages, the previous one, covering a number of sectors. So that will have to be worked into the January 8 statement somehow. But on page 42 of the 2021 conference report, paragraph 9, it says there that the resolution of previous conferences have not been implemented. Where they have been implemented, they've been implemented with the wrong spirit. So it shows you that for the longest time, conference resolutions of the African National Congress have not been implemented by the African National Congress. So I would be surprised if they take resolutions in this conference and implement them to the effect, to the point where they actually impact the election of 2024. I think that's a most unlikely outcome.
Well, it's always a pleasure speaking to you, Sandile. I'm sure we'll speak again closer to the time or during January 8 itself. Always good to have a political analyst, Sandile Swana, joining us here on eNCA. Of course, you can expect full coverage of the January 8 statement here on the channel as and when it begins.